On to the next question, which is how to bridge native code with Flutter, or how to integrate Flutter into existing native apps.
That was, I think, mine. So I'll answer in the two-part question in two sections of an answer. So there's basically two ways in Flutter that you can integrate with native code. The first one is through plugins. So you can build background services that connect to either iOS or Android native code. And then you can also build modules. And modules are now an interesting way to kind of piecemeal replace your existing Android or iOS app. So basically, if you have a large code base in Java, Kotlin, Swift, or Objective-C, and you don't want to replace everything at once, you can use Flutter modules and replace or bring in a Flutter views into certain spaces. Now, there's a bunch of restrictions about this. I'll go through those quickly. As a word of warning, I know quite a bit about the plugins. I know absolutely pretty much nothing about the modules except what the internet tells me. So bear with me, and if there's a module expert here, then I'd really like to hear some real life experience as well, if it really works that way. But let's move on to the next slide, the gesture interface. Yes. This is an actual example from what a plugin looks like. A plugin is a super simple way to integrate your native code with the Flutter Dart world. Basically, it goes around a method channel, which is a way to pass messages back and forth between the native dark side and the Flutter world. This is an actual pieces of code from an actual application we're building. So in the Flutter Dart side, you have you define a plugin class, you define a method channel for it, you attach it so that there's actually something listening. You have a function listening for messages coming in from the native side to the Flutter side. And then you can invoke methods or kind of send messages into the native side. Then on the Kotlin side, this is from the same project, a very quick, simple overview. So you have your Kotlin implementation, which then attaches as well to the Flutter side, defining what function will be called when new methods are coming in or new messages. And then in that function, you just do whatever you want to do with your native code. And then there's a way, again, a similar API to invoking methods that go back to the Flutter side. This is very simple to reason about, very simple to build your native code around, and very easy to keep it separated. And we've used this in two projects at least, and usually the use case has been kind of separating very specific Bluetooth handling logic with very specific protocols away from the Flutter world. Now about the modules, this is interesting. This is a way to embed your Flutter views into iOS and Android. There are very good documentation available on the official docs with actual GIF animations showing you where to click on Xcode and where to click on Android Studio. So it's super easy to get started with those. There are some limitations, and that's an official quote from the Flutter docs. So it's one full screen Flutter instance at a time per application. So it's not going to be a magical thing that you can mix your Flutter code or Dart code wherever, but it's going to give you a way to start thinking about writing a certain piece of your monolithic, huge native application at a time. I recommend reading the docs, and I recommend looking at a video, which pretty much just reads through the docs, but it's still a video format. So it might be a good way to start looking into modules.